everyone. This is your Lady Billionaire Realtor, Massigimo from GM Having Realty Limited. Trust your finance. Staying safe even in this time. We pray that God will heal our nation and restore peace, prosperity in Nigeria. Okay, so today I'll be talking about demystifying real estate investment. Okay, it is common knowledge that a lot of people find it difficult to invest in real estate because they feel it is capital intensive. They begin to wonder how they can raise the money to buy these properties in millions that will brandish at them every day. Okay, so while it may be true that real estate is capital intensive, but with a good strategy, planning, discipline, I'm going to emphasize that discipline, and well spelled out objective, investing in real estate can be very easy. Okay, I'll share with us a testimony of one of my mentors, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. She's currently the chairman of First Bank of Nigeria. In one of her seminars, she talked of how she bought some plots of land in 2001 at Chevron HQ Lekki for 5.2 million naira, and in 2005, that's about 4 years later, she had a project and she needed capital. She sold that land for 61.5 million naira. She bought 8 plots of land. If you break it down, it was about 650,000 naira at that time, 2001. And she sold it in 2005 for 61.5 million. If you check the ROI, that's over 1,000. Okay, like currently now, we'll tell you about a certain real estate investment, or we'll tell you about an investment and we'll say, okay, you get 15% ROI if you invest in this property now, guaranteed, or 25%. And when you hear 25% is huge. So when you're talking about over 1,000 ROI, that's huge. Okay, so we see the lessons from Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. One, she had a good strategy, getting the location right. She bought in Chevron, though it didn't look like it. So imagine a plot of land selling in 2001 for 650,000 naira. Okay, the current price of land in Chevron, that's where you have a Chevron headquarters, Carlton Gate, and so many estates, it's almost 100 million per plot. So if she had left that plot of land till now, you can imagine the ripple effect. So we learned that if you're buying land, don't buy one, buy more than one. Okay, so she had a good strategy. She planned. She was futuristic. She was proactive. She was seeing herself. She's one of the wealthiest women in Africa. She was seeing herself, so she planned. She had a good strategy. She disciplined herself. You can check out the video on my page on Facebook, Messi Gimo. My Instagram, Gimo_Messi_. You would see the video where she talked about, she shared her testimony. And she said she would have spent that money on something else. So that means there was actually a need for her. There was actually something that money would have gone into, and she would not get that ROI that she got eventually, and she wouldn't have been able to, solve that problem, that issue she had at that particular time if she had not put that money there. So you see that she disciplined herself. She talked about, she called it deferred pleasure, that she decided to put away that pleasure, that want to take that 5.2 million naira, and she put that money in that project. Okay, and that's why she was able to get an ROI of over 1,000. Yeah, so great investors invest first, and the others, they invest first and spend what is left. Why the others? They spend first and plan to invest what is left. If you're on that table, please raise your hand. Okay, so you can never be a successful real estate investor when you spend first and plan to invest what is left. Because you will discover that most times after spending first on those so-called pressing issues, they'll be like, they are very pressing. You find out that you have little or nothing to invest. Some people will tell me, Mercy, this property, I'm expecting, there's the money that I'm expecting that I'd like to buy into this property. So we're not waiting. So when the money eventually comes, those things that will be dragging them, buy me, pay me, support me and all that, will take the money. And when you say, oh, I'm calling to follow up on our last conversation, you say, are you not in this country? The expenses are taking all the money. So in this case, what do we do? What do you do in this case? So just as some people are very religious about their tithes, you know, when people collect their income, they say, this is 10%, this is God's own, I'm not going to touch it. Okay, they are very religious about it. They remove it, and that's the thing of what they do with the remaining 90. So what you should do is to get a percentage, you know, remove a designated percentage from the remaining 90. In fact, Pastor Sam advises 20%. 20% from your income must go to your savings. In fact, Bishop Oyedepo, he said they save 70% of the income that comes in and use 30% for other things that will come. Can you beat that? So we can even do more than 20%. Okay, so create a special account for that designated percentage from your income. In fact, start with 20%. When you then, in fact, open an account for it, put it there, and make a commitment to yourself. You know, remember we said discipline. Make a commitment to yourself that you will not touch that money except you are putting it into a real estate investment project. Okay, so that's how we can work on ourselves. Okay, you know, one thing I'd like us to do is to make a list of our expenses, our daily expenses, our weekly expenses, our monthly expenses, and our yearly expenses, and put side by side what the ROI, by the time you total all those expenses, what the return on whatever you are putting those money on, what does it bring back to you? What would it bring back to you in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time? Remember, we've started a new decade. Then you can understand the importance of putting aside a certain amount for investment. So I'll close with this popular story. Every one of us know about it. That's the story of Joseph. Okay, so Pharaoh had a dream and he needed an interpreter, and that was when Joseph came in. And he came in, he told him the dream, and he gave him a solution to the dream. And you know, the solution, the dream was there was going to be 7 years of abundance and 7 years of famine. Okay, you know, every time they tell us they in church, there's a prayer that says you are going to be like Joseph, you are coming out from the prison to the palace, everybody will be shouting amen, and be claiming the blessings. But one thing we must notice is there is always a season of abundance and there is always a season of famine. You might say, my income is not so much, it's just very small, it's bigger. The fact that something is coming in, you must take out of that is coming in and plan for the future, plan for tomorrow. Don't eat everything, okay? Take out 5 years. Look at 5 years from now. Where would you be? What are you putting your money on? What will it convert to? Look at the testimony of Mrs. Awoshika. In less than 4 years, she made an ROI of over 1,000. She made a profit of 56 million naira for a property she bought. Okay, she bought the property, made the sacrifice, and all that. So it is time for us to see that investing in real estate is not difficult. What we just need to do is good strategy planning. In your good strategy, you need a realtor, and that's where I come in to advise you on projects that you can invest in, especially when we have a lot of installment payments, both for land and for houses. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like this video, share, follow us on our social media platform, GMH Realty, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Then my personal Instagram page is Gimo_Mercy_. So please do have a blessed day and keep staying safe. Cheers.